Just like in mathematics, operator have a pivot. Now here, if you see that all the variables have same operator, addition, so they add and got the answer. But here, I told you that the precedence of division and multiplication is higher than addition and subtraction. So that's why they calculate it first. The compiler calculate this first. Then after it calculate the rest of the others. That's why we got the difference. So that is why it is a best practice to first we store the answer of all the subjects in total variable, means the addition of addition, we done the addition first. Then we just have to divide that. Now the result is stored in this total. So instead of writing the same scenario again, because we know that the precedence will be given to division operator and we will got the wrong answer. So that's why we first calculate the result of these subjects and store it into another variable. Then we just write the name of the variable and divide it by 3. Now, if you notice that now we have just one operator involved, this one. We have only one division operator, this. So, it will only divide this and we got the right answer. So, that's why I purposely do that to explain you the concept of operator precedence. Now we get this average. So this is the reason we use variables. This is the reason I declare a separate variables to add the subjects. This is the reason I take an other variable to store the result of average. I can also do the same thing, that instead of total, I will write these math score and divide it by 3. But the reason is the precedence. I will got the wrong answer. But we have another. I told you that the precedence of brackets is greater than any. If I do this, let's see. Just mark the answer. It is 58 point something. So if I run this code, see, now we are getting the same answer. The reason is that I'm using the brackets here. So it's all about the precedence. So if you don't want to use two variables, like I'm using total for adding the number, then in the average I'm using, instead of this, I was writing total here. If you don't want to use this, then you can use brackets, because brackets have higher precedence than just like in mathematics. Do you get the concept? Do you have any questions
Yeah.
still?
No question. Thank you very much.
So that was a real world scenario related to arithmetic operators. Now we have other kinds of operators. That was the only first kind. So we have comparison operators. They are also known as relational operators. As the name suggests, the comparison operator is to compare two values. Now we have multiple comparison operators. And the result, the comparison operator will give as true or false. Okay, if I say that 5 is greater than 3, you will say true. 4 is smaller than 10, that is true. 5 is greater than 5 is greater than, let's suppose, 20. You will say false. 5 is not greater than 20. So the answer you will give in the form of true and false. Similarly, in programming, if we compare two things, The result the print statement will give us is in the form of true and false. So let's study comparison of it. Now we will create another section. Now you might notice that if I click here in this variable inspector, it is giving us different variables that we have used. We have used pi, we have used a, and even with uh, name, they are also giving us the data type. So this is a variable instructor. You can also explore it more. Now I will declare a new section here. The new section will be, okay, let's declare it, not here. Let's delete it. After this, I want a new section. We're just giving this here. Let's add this with now I will add some code here. So in comparison operators, we have multiple things. So let's start with the first one that is equal. So if I say, let's take a variable here. Okay, I will call it equal. 5 is equal to 3. What will be the answer? False. 5 is not equal to 3. I told you that it will result me in Boolean. Boolean is another data type that results either true or false. So if we got the true or false as the result, then we can say that it's a Boolean value. If I write 5 is equal to 5, now it is true. So the first one is equal to a print. I will write equal to here so you can more understand. The second operator is not equal. If I say 5 is for not equal to, we use this sign. 7. And I will print here if this one. Yes, 5 is not equal to 7. So it is giving us the answer. Then after that, we have another operator that is greater than. So I will declare multiple variables at once. We have greater than and less than. 5 is greater than 7. And we have another variable that is I say 5 is less than 7. Then similarly, we have two more operators that is greater than or equal to and less than or equal. So let's see the output here for each variable. We want the greater than accepting the words. Then after greater than, we have less than. So writing them again is a great tactic here. We have to do greater than equal. So that we have less than. No, we will just have to bring them. So with greater than 5 is greater than 7, it is resulting false. Less than 5 is less than, it is resulting true. Greater than equal means the number should be greater than or it can be equal to a specific number. So 5 is greater than and equal to 7, no. But 5 is less than and equal to 7, yes, true. So if I write 7 here, let's see the answer. It's still 2. It is not less, but it is equal to 7. So that is the meaning of greater than equal, less than equal. So these are multiple comparison methods that we can use for comparison. Equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal. And after that, okay, that was about comparison operators. So let's take a real world example. So till now, if you have any question related to this comparison operators, you can ask me. So now we will take a scenario, age verification for voting eligibility. So we know that if a person is, if the age of a person is 18 years, then that person is eligible for vote. And if not, we will then that person is not eligible for this. So we use a comparison operator for this purpose. We create a program like in this way. If the age of the person is greater than 18, then he is eligible for vote. But if not, then he is not eligible for vote. So this is the scenario that I'm going to use here. So let's create a section here. Instead of that, I will write text, not here, a new section. Yeah. This one, age verification for, and in this section, we will write some code here. Let's delete this one. So, how we will do that? Firstly, I need a variable age in which I will store the age of a person. So, let's suppose the age of a person is 20. So, we have already declared the age variable. So, I will write with capital letter, so it will not create any problem. So, age of a person is 20. Um, in future, we will study about if sequence structure, if or if else, but you don't need to deep dive into that till now. If I say that if the age of a person is greater than or equal to 18, just like this, with after that you have to put a colon here like this, then I will print you are eligible for else. If not, then after else you have to put a colon, then print you are not Eligible to what? Let's print this output here. I think we made some mistake. There. That's fine. So we have a syntax error here. So we have written the wrong sentence. Oh, like, okay. Okay. Now, you know what the problem with this Python is? It is not case sensitive, but you have to take care of indentations. So if you don't put the indentations, means if you have write this if here, then else should be write down after the if. If I instead of this, if I do this, then it will create an error. So see, but if I remove the space, the error will be removed. So please take care of this. Don't have to put extra space if we are working with sequence structure or loop structure. So don't get confused with this if or if else. These are the sequence structures. That is the topic of discussion for the next lecture. Just to implement the comparison operator, I take this for this line. So if I run the now, so the print is you are eligible to vote because the age have 20. But if I write 15 here, now the person is not eligible to. So it will print this statement. So any questions till now?
Clear, ma'am.
No question. So we discussed today different kinds of operators. We discussed different data types. We discussed type conversion. And in the next lecture, we will discuss the bitwise operator and most important, the logical operator. So if you want me to continue, then I will go with the logical operators. So, but if you think that that's enough for today, then I will stop here. So if you want me to continue with logical operators, or that's enough?
Yeah, sure. It doesn't matter. We can continue.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
So
If
the
Munib is alright with it, then we can continue.
okay.
Yeah, it's cool, it's cool. No issue.
So
Okay.
we will create a new section here, and let's edit this section with the name of logical operators. Now, this is our new section. So here I will add some code. So what are logical operators? Now, these operators are used to combine conditional statements. We have three logical operators, and, or, and not. Do you have any knowledge about these logical operators and or not? Do you have learned about that thing?
Is it like gates or
Yes. Say
what?
exactly.
Yeah,
So, do you know
yeah.
about that?
I remember something, but I can't.
Okay,
What do you
no
say? I can't
problem.
remember it completely. Because I get confused between all of them.
Okay, no problem. We will go through. Firstly, we have and. So, what does a and? If two conditions are true, then the answer will be. If I say that if a person is, let's suppose, 18 years old and have a driving license, then he can drive a car. Now the two conditions are true. Let's suppose you are 18 years old and you also have a license. Then you can drive a car. But if you are 18 years old and you don't have a driving license, then you cannot drive. So that is the AND operator. The result of AND operator is true if the both conditions are. Our first condition was that you must be 18 years. Our second condition was that you must hold a driving license. If you have a driving license and you are 18 years old, then you can drive a car. That is our AND operator. That the two conditions must be true. Okay? Do you understand that? The second one is the OR operator. OR operator just works differently. Now, we will revise this same scenario. If you are 18 years old, but if you have or not have a driving license, then you can drive a. Now, first condition is you are 18 years old, but you don't have a driving license. But still the answer will be you can drive. You are not 18 years old, but you have a driving license. You can also drive. So the difference between AND operator and the OR operator is that the AND operator results true if the both conditions are true, whereas the OR operator results true only if the one condition can be. Do you understand that? We will implement it with an example. So that is the basic difference between the AND operator and the OR. Just keep in mind, or you can take a note of it, that AND operator is only results true if the both conditions are. It will result false if one of the condition is false. Whereas the OR operator results true if only the one, if from two of them, only one is true. But results false if both conditions are false. Okay, these are the two main operators. Now we will do an example here. It will give us more understanding. Then after that, we have a third operator, NOT operator, that reverse the result. If the answer is true, it will take it as false. If the answer is false, it will do it as true. So you can call it as complement. So you might have idea about complementing another. Now we will use another scenario, verifying user log. The scenario is we will check if the username and passwords are correct or not. So we will use logical operator here. We will use logical AND here. After that, we will work with other operators. So we have a scenario checking if the username and password is correct. So I will here add some text. Static. So this is the scenario that we will check. Now you might notice that I just have read the scenario, the code itself is written. If I click here on accept, it will automatically regenerate the code for us. So that is why I recommend you to use Google Colab. So if you write a specific scenario, they will give you the code. And if you don't want this code, you can re-edit it, or if you don't want these variables,
Yeah.
so you can change it.
Yeah,
So
even on the top right, I think so there's AI. And you can use the AI from the top right in Gemini.
yes, you can do that too. But if we use Gemini or ChatGPT, mostly the code that is generated by that, mostly in some cases that is wrong. So you can also write a complex scenario, a very complex. I personally have tried this. Like previously, I have to write specific code to create a simulator. So that was a very complex term uh, during my research. So the code that was generated by ChatGPT contains a lot of bugs. It is a good practice as a beginner that you can use that AI tool that generate code for small snaps. But the problem is that if we move towards the real world, real scenarios or real project, maybe in future you use programming as your field and you have to write a code. So there will be a lot of bugs. And if you don't have a good foundation in programming, then you cannot resolve that. So as a beginner, I recommend you that instead of using ChatGPT or Gemini, uh, try to write your own code. If there is some sort of problem, then you can tally your code with that AI generated code. So as a beginner, you shouldn't use directly the AI generated. Yes, you can take it as a reference, but later on, if you work as a professional, then you might have some problem. Okay. Now here
Yeah.
I use the variable username and the name is admin. We take a password with the variable password. Now, for using the AND operator, we just need to write the AND between two conditions. Now, this is our condition one. If the user is equals to admin, means the user name contains the name admin, whereas the variable password contains this password and then print login successful. Else print invalid credentials. So let's print this first and then we will study login successful. Why? Because the username was admin and the password was password 123. Now let's change the username from admin to root. Invalid credentials because the username should be admin and the password should be this. So I told you that AND operator results true if both conditions are. If one of the condition is false, then it will result the else state. Okay. So instead of login successful, we can write true and false so you can get a better understanding. So see, it's resulting false because the first condition is false now. But if I replace this with admin again, then it will result true. Now let's work with OR operator. If you want to use OR operator instead of AND, you will use OR like this. Now, if I again change this admin to root and run this, see the result is true. So I told you the difference between the and OR operator that AND operator will result true if the both conditions are true. But OR operator will result true if only one condition is true. So for OR operator, at least one condition should be true. But in AND operator, the both of the two conditions should be true. Okay, so that was the logical and logical OR. You can practice logical not as your assignment. So I'm giving you a short assignment that you have to run logical or operator with a real world scenario. Okay. So that was all about today. We discussed different kinds of operators, logical operator, assignment operator. No, we didn't, sorry, comparison operator and arithmetic. Only one type of operator is ref, that is assignment operator. We will discuss that in the next lecture.